Move now to some of the raw and emotional reactions from Jewish students at MIT in Cambridge, heartbroken over the horrific accounts of violence during the Hamas terrorist attacks in Israel.
My heart is there. My friends are there. My family is there. I have not slept and I barely ate in the past days. Because I wake up at calls at night when my brother tells me that he's scared.
When people get injured, when people are raped, when heinous acts happen back in my country, I feel like it's my sister being raped, my brother being kidnapped. Even though my immediate family might be okay, my brother and my cousin, they're not.
So this comes amid fallout at Harvard University over the student groups that supported a letter blaming Israel for the Hamas terrorist attacks. Some CEOs are urging Harvard to release the names of the people in the 34 student organizations who signed that letter so they can make sure they don't ever hire them. Meanwhile, the university's paper, the Harvard Crimson, reports some of the members of those student groups have been victims of doxing, which is when personal information is made public. The paper also reports that as of yesterday afternoon, at least 8 of the 34 student groups have withdrawn their signatures from the letter originally written by a Palestine Solidarity Committee. Joining us now, the president and CEO of Hillel International, Adam Lehman. Hillel is the largest Jewish campus organization in the world, serving more than 140,000 Jewish students each year at 850 colleges and universities. So first of all, tell us your reaction to what is going on at Harvard and what they need to do now.
Yeah, thank you, Mika. Thank you for having me on the show and taking this issue seriously. What has been happening at Harvard is really, from our point of view, beyond distressing. Even if we set to the side, and we should come back and talk about how students can have so little empathy and recognition of the vile terrorism that resulted in the atrocities and impacted so many innocent men, women, children, elderly civilians in Israel. The administration failing in the first instance to step up and firmly and clearly call out the terrorism and how it does impact not only Israelis, but Jewish students everywhere who have relationships, as we saw from the earlier clip, with those who were impacted, and authentic relationships to the state of Israel. And then with a second try, still coming out with a tepid statement that doesn't show the students at Harvard that it is not okay to celebrate terrorism, and it is not okay to, in that context, try to turn this into a political issue. It is not a political issue when we see the victims as they were in the horrible images from Israel over the weekend.
You know, I mean, university campuses are supposed to be a space where ideas can be exchanged, where people, should exercise free speech and learn from, their disagreements. And having said all that, racism and other things are not acceptable. And I believe this falls into that category. And so my question is, what's a constructive way forward to deal with what happened at Harvard that would be constructive rather than destructive?
Yeah, no, great question. And in our work at Hillel, we are about bridge building. We are about building up strong, not only Jewish student communities, but relationships between those Jewish student communities and all of the other communities on campus. So we do want to be constructive. To do so, we think we need the partnership of senior administrators at Harvard and at every campus, and we need them to do a few things. Number one, they do need to speak out. This shouldn't be so hard. For one of Joe's alma maters, University of Florida, I thought the president said it beautifully. This isn't hard to call out what has been so upsetting and atrocious in terms of the conduct of a terrorist organization. And that doesn't preclude them then going on to talk about other groups or other issues. But number one, they need to speak out. Number two, we need administrators, and we would love to see members of other student communities showing up for Jewish students. We have organized already hundreds of vigils and rallies on beautiful events on campuses around North America and around the world. And it is so powerful when administrators and members of other backgrounds and communities show up to join in those programs and events. Jewish students who have been impacted and really traumatized then feel that support. And finally, we need our administration partners to work with us to protect Jewish students. The issues of threats on campus are real. We have seen such an uptick in harassment, in marginalization. Even just in recent days, we have had Hillels vandalized. And, you know, the Harvard situation was a piece of paper. Today, in terms of the 34 groups who signed on, today, and this is so upsetting to us, a group called Students for Justice in Palestine has organized a day of resistance, promoting that across all campuses. And in the marketing materials for this day of resistance, they have a picture of one of the terrorists from Hamas hang gliding into the festival where 260 young people were slaughtered. So we have got to do better. We need our administration partners to do better as well.
Yeah, Adam, good morning. We've seen some of that on some of the social media posts from these groups as well, adding the parachute in. And, of course, some of the terrorists from Hamas, as you said, took hang gliders into that music festival. So you asked the question, why is this so hard? I mean, if you can't come out quickly and condemn the murder of children, the burning alive of elderly citizens, and everything else we've been hearing about for the last couple of days, I guess the question is, from the president's and the administrators, they are the adults. It's their school. Why are they so hesitant to come out and condemn something that should be so easy to condemn when they frankly put out statements about just about every news story that crosses the wire with no hesitation to get on the right side of an issue? What is your sense of why this is so difficult for some of these schools, not all of them, as you say, but some of these schools to condemn from the leadership?
Yeah, thanks, Willie. And I would pick up where you left off. There are many schools that have shown the real leadership and advanced an understanding of what it means to teach morality, to teach empathy. So I don't want to paint a blanket picture here. For those who are not picking up the mantle of leadership in this moment, I think they have just gotten cowed by, number one, faculty who, you know, frankly, have politicized this issue to the point where Jewish students are regularly, you know, and again, this preceded this week, subjected to demonization of Israel, double standards that, again, it's impossible, frankly, for us as members of the Jewish community to sometimes understand how it goes that far. But I think, unfortunately, university leadership often look to those faculty members for their guidance, and they're looking at these other student groups and, you know, frankly, trying to, you know, bring everyone into the tent. But there are times when not everyone is in the same place. We often talk about and hear about a lack of moral equivalence, and this is that case. But again, it's not all hope is lost here. We have a program called the Campus Climate Initiative, where we work with administrators to help them better, number one, understand the nature of contemporary anti-Semitism and how it shows up and impacts Jewish students and all students. And number two, helps them just do better. If you look at the schools that actually came out with stronger statements, many of them were part of this initiative that we've got going, because at least they better understood how to show up for Jewish students. And again, when schools show up for Jewish students, they're showing up for all students.
And Mika, we're hearing from students. Some of them have written op-eds. Others have spoken to us at NBC News at some of these schools who say, you're asking me to now go sit in a classroom this morning, this Thursday morning, perhaps next to someone who's cheering the savage murder of people like me. And so for schools that want to create safe spaces they talk about all the time, and for the slightest microaggression, they go to a safe space with coloring books and comfort animals. This is the ultimate, right? This is the ultimate where they should create a safe space.
President and CEO of Hillel International, Adam Lehman, thank you very much.